The cost of housing in Central Ohio is through the roof. Bidding wars, people paying tens of thousands of dollars over list price, buyers waiving their home inspection. Complete madness. If you're thinking about purchasing a house in Columbus, Ohio, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to break down what homes are selling for in 6 of the popular suburbs, giving you a complete clarity on what your dollar is going to buy you. Also, a couple of places you might be able to find some value buys. And it all starts right now. So let's go! If this is the first time to my channel, my name is Mark Vanstein. I make videos about real estate and living in Columbus, Ohio. I want to give you, the viewer, a really good sense on what it's like to live here. If you're a numbers person like me, you're going to love this video. If not, well, then you might find it a little boring. It is so very important when you purchase a home to make sure you make a good investment. And trust me, watching this video is going to help. I'm going to break down these 6 suburbs and show you exactly what your dollar can buy, as well as some recent sales examples at the end of the video. So let's break down these 6 suburbs. I'm going to start with 3 of the more expensive areas to live in Columbus. And at number 1, and when I say number 1, I mean the most expensive area to live in Columbus, is going to be New Albany. It was already expensive, but as soon as they announced Intel going in 2 years ago, the value started to go through the roof even more. New Albany has one of the best school districts in the area, and because it really didn't start to be developed until the late 1990s, most of it has a lot of newer style homes. The average sale price for New Albany schools in 2023 was around $672,000, up 6% from the year before. If you want to live in New Albany proper, the average sale price was up to $975,000, almost a 20% increase from last year. The average price per square footage was right around $280 per square foot, and homes went out about 102% of their sales price. Next, let's break down Powell. Powell is in the Olentangy School District, which is another very highly rated district in Central Ohio. If you want to know who the top 5 school districts are in Columbus, as graded by the Ohio Department of Education, you can check out this video here on this channel. Like New Albany, Powell had a crazy amount of appreciation last year. The average home price is up almost 12%. For an average sale price of around $636,000. The Olentangy School District, which is made up of parts of Lewis Center, Westerville, and Delaware, was up 10% with an average sale price of $586,000. The average price per square foot came in right around $225 and sold for about 99% of original list price. If you want to be in the Olentangy School District, it's a little bit more affordable to be in Lewis Center or Delaware more than the greater Powell area. Before I move on to the next area, if you're moving or relocating to Columbus and want to make sure you make a good investment when you purchase a home, give me a call. I'm a full-time REMAX Realtor. I've been helping people move and relocate to Columbus for the last 20 years now. I'm actually a 3rd-generation real estate agent. You really want to work with an agent who's going to help you make that good investment, just not sell you something. So give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, however you want to reach out. I'm pretty easy to find. On to Upper Arlington, or what I like to affectionately refer to as the bubble. The air is just a little bit sweeter in the bubble. The average sale price in Upper Arlington came in at $658,000, up almost 6% from last year. Upper Arlington, which is also a top 5 school rated district in Central Ohio, is a little different than New Albany and Powell because it's landlocked and has been for years. So if you want to live in the community, you're really looking at an older housing product. And if you wanted something new or newer, it's going to have to be a tear down or something that's been completely rehabbed. The average price per square foot came in higher at $306, and homes were selling at 100% of original list price. This is mostly because the homes in general are smaller in size because they're older. But what you give up in square footage, you make up in location, being very close to downtown and the Ohio State University. Okay, we broke down the 3 very expensive areas in Columbus to live. Now let's look at 3 areas where I think you can find some value and might be a little bit more affordable. Number 1 is going to be Worthington. Now, full disclosure, Worthington holds a special place in my heart because that's where I grew up and I went to high school. So I'm a little bit biased. The average sale price in Worthington schools came in at $456,000, which was down almost 4% from last year. Worthington proper, the average sale price was up about 2%, but the average sale was lower, around $395,000. The average price per square foot came in right around $225, and things were selling for around 101% of list price. I think Worthington can be a great value play if it falls within your budget. Like Upper Arlington, the housing's a little bit older and it's completely landlocked, but it has a great location and some wonderful neighborhoods. If you think Worthington is on your radar, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I've got a pros and cons of living in Worthington coming out very, very soon. Next is Hilliard, which is located on the west side of Central Ohio. Hilliard is going to have a mix of older construction and newer builds, but there's plenty of new land development out on the west side of town for new housing projects. The average sale price in Hilliard schools was right around $430,000, which was up about 5% from last year. The average price per square foot was right around $219,000, and homes were selling for around 101% of list price. Hilliard is another area with a good school district, which is still on the affordable side. The area has done a lot with its downtown the last few years and is really starting to come along strong. Lastly is Westerville, or for this video, the Westerville School District. The district, like several others in Central Ohio, is spread across several different suburbs. Westerville, like Hilliard, where there is some land still available to develop, so it does have some newer housing inventory, but not an abundance of newer housing. It's kind of a mix of both. The average sale price came in at just under $394,000, which was up about 5% from last year. The price per square foot came in at $210, and homes were selling for about 101% of list price. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's compare what your dollar will buy you in each of these areas. I'm going to use the average of the first three areas, which are some of the more expensive areas in Central Ohio, and then the average of the next three, which are going to be a little bit more affordable. Starting with New Albany, Powell, and Upper Arlington, the average came in at right around $655,000. So let's take a look at what $650,000 will buy you in Columbus. First, let's take a look at this home in New Albany. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 full and 1 half baths, 2,500 square feet with a 2-car garage. It sits on about 1/5 of an acre lot. It does have about 600 square feet and a finished basement, and was built by a production builder here in town called MI Homes, which is a large builder here in Central Ohio. It was listed for $650,000 and sold for $675,000. This home in Powell sold last year as well. It's in the Kinsdale Golf Course community. It's 3 bedrooms, 4 full baths, and 1 half bath, a 3-car garage, and 3,100 square feet. It had an additional 1,000 finished square feet in a basement and sits on 1/4 of an acre lot. And it sold for $650,000 last year. Then lastly, in Upper Arlington, this home, which was built in 1949, it has 4 bedrooms, 2 full and 2 half baths with a detached 2-car garage. The home is about 2,200 square feet and sits on a 0.17 of an acre lot. And it sold for $655,000. So let's compare these 3 homes. In Powell, New Albany, you're going to get more modern construction. Both of the homes I used as examples were built within the last 30 years and have those open concepts, the larger master baths, the larger walk-in closets. Because Upper Arlington is landlocked, you're not going to find much, if any, new construction. It's much harder to find those open concept homes, and when you're talking about basements, the basements, if they're finished, aren't going to have that ceiling height that you're going to find in the newer construction as well. What you have in Upper Arlington is the mature neighborhoods, the location, and of course the charm. So it's really just becomes down to what's important to you. Let's take a look at the next 3, Worthington, Westerville, and Hilliard. The average of those 3 communities came in right around $427,000 on average. This house, which is located in Westerville, is 4 bedrooms, 2 and 1 half baths with a 2-car garage. It sits on about a half an acre lot. It's almost 2,200 square feet with a nice looking screened-in porch and backs up to some woods. And it sold last year for $427,000. This home in Worthington Schools is 4 bedrooms, 2 full and 1 half baths with a 2-car garage. It's about 2,300 square feet and sits on a 1/4 of an acre lot. It's about half updated with a really nice kitchen, enclosed sunroom, but the bath and flooring still needed some updating. Interesting, the house had a Westerville address. If you watched my video on things you need to know when you're buying a house in Columbus, you'll know that the areas get super confusing. It ended up selling for $425,000. And last is Hilliard. This home has 3 bedrooms, 2 full and 1 half baths with a 3-car garage. It's 2,750 square feet and sits on 1/5 of an acre lot. And it sold for $425,000. So in Westerville and Hilliard, you will see some newer construction. Worthington has been mostly built out for decades. Worthington has a better location with easier access to downtown and the freeways, however. You'll see a lot of other similarities with all three, and all 3 school districts are pretty close to one another in terms of rankings. Ultimately, they are 3 very similar style suburbs here in Central Ohio. Well, that's my analysis. I know when you start throwing a bunch of numbers at people, it can get a little bit boring. But that's really what you need to be focusing on when you purchase a home. You want to make sure it's a good investment. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up down below and make sure you subscribe. If you feel like you need some professional help buying a home here in Columbus, give me a call. My contact information is down below and also at the end of the video. Until next time.